Good afternoon, everybody. This is Atmospheric Alex here with a bit of a different weather forecast and discussion. I wanted to do another video on the upcoming pattern change, but we have priorities first. We have potentially a tornado outbreak that could occur across most of Dixie Alley tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. So we will be talking about that in today's video as opposed to the pattern change. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center's convective outlook, brought to you by weatherwise.com, which is quickly becoming the #1 source of weather information. And what we're currently seeing here is a very large expansive risk here. We have a level 3 out of 5 here on the severe weather scale, an enhanced risk for severe weather. Look at that there. For portions of, well, eastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and far western Alabama. And in this area, we are anticipating damaging winds, large hail, and potentially even a couple of strong tornadoes tomorrow. And most certainly in this enhanced risk, we're talking about cities, all right, such as Monroe, Alexandria, Natchez, Baton Rouge getting close there, Jackson, Hattiesburg, Meridian, and you get the idea there. We have some fairly large populated areas in the enhanced risk. And then we can't forget about our level 2 out of 5 just outside of it as well. We could see very similar hazards, just a little bit more isolated than in your main risk area. Look at it, Shreveport here, New Orleans, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Yeah, we have familiar names in there, right? And then in your level 1 out of 5, I would not worry nearly as much, but some severe weather could even cross into portions of East Tennessee, like Knoxville here. So maybe I'll see some activity as well. I guess it's worth getting a little bit excited over. Now, we are going to go ahead and take a look at your tornado probabilities here, because this is extremely important when understanding severe weather. Yes, right here in your yellow hatched area, this is a 10% chance for significant tornadoes tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Here we are talking about, look at that, Jackson right in the center of that there, Hattiesburg, we're talking Meridian, Alexandria, Monroe, Columbus, Greenwood. Yeah, we're talking about some slightly more populated areas there, where we are expecting the environment to be extremely ripe. And outside of that, we have our 5% chance as well. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see a strong tornado there as well. Wind probabilities roughly the same there. We are expecting 60 to 70 mile an hour winds through the same exact areas, really. Hail risk, roughly the same as well, just a little bit less intense. So first and foremost, we're going to start taking a look at your models here. We're going to start with our HRRR high resolution rapid refresh model, and we're going to look at our projected radar here. It's not a guarantee it'll look like this, but it gives us an idea of what to expect. So I'm going to try and name off some cities, some towns here to keep you all notified about this. Well, you could start to see some cells starting to fire off here early tomorrow morning. Not entirely sure if I'm buying this. It seems a little too early. If we were to see this, though, it would have significant implications later on in the day here, as these storms will move into central Louisiana and eat up a lot of storm energy. We're talking about some strong, severe storms moving through Lake Charles starting tomorrow morning around 7, 8, 9 a.m., overspreading the region, a few supercells firing off. Alexandria, you're starting to get impacted around 9, 10, 11 a.m., Shreveport could start to see some activity as well as these storms move through, and you take a look, you do see, in fact, some hooking structures already beginning to develop by around 10, 11 a.m. to noon here. Look at that, Baton Rouge there, already getting hit by a storm there. Macomb getting in it. And you can see another round firing back here near Texarkana. Look at that, Shreveport getting in on the action. And really progressing through time here. Yeah, take a look at some of your supercells really hooking. Really, your strong tornado risk could start early tomorrow around noon to 1. to 2 in the afternoon. I'm trying to give a fairly wide range when it comes to timing because models tend to be very inaccurate when it comes to stuff with exact. So I'm trying to be a little more broad. Shreveport really getting in on your storm activity around noon and just really overspreading the region here. But you can see your cells continuing to fire off here. A lot more of your hooking structures across central Louisiana moving into southern Mississippi. Places like Jackson really starting to get slammed here. Greenwood starting to get in the action. And more rounds blowing through Lake Charles, Baton Rouge getting more activity. As we head into round 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, and it really just begins to show itself here. Your main round across Mississippi, portions of Alabama, nice hooking supercells. Meridian, you really need to watch out for anything discrete that is ahead of the line, or lines in this case. Macomb, yeah, nice supercell there near Alexandria as well, and really firing off near Shreveport. Strong tornado risk for sure. And just continuing through, we are moving through the evening hours, early overnight hours here. Again, cells, and I cannot emphasize this, cells ahead of the line need to really be watched because your lower level jet's going to be kicking in. You're going to have about 40 to 50 knots at your lower levels. Significant turning with height. And what happens? You get rotation and your wind shear begins to tilt it, and then boom, you have a tornado. You need to watch out. Again, discrete cells ahead of the line, strong tornado potential is certainly there. Then another round for Louisiana here. Storm energy should begin to recover and move further north around this time. And yeah, really, I mean, it's gonna probably be an overnight threat as well, moving through Baton Rouge, New Orleans, finally getting on it. Meridian there, Mobile, and finally, by early Sunday morning, all this activity should scurry right on out of there. Now, your ingredients goes as follows. We're going to look at your significant tornado parameter. Do not pay attention to the specific number value. Just kind of look at where these values are on the map, right? How widespread they get. Well, you can see some of your blue colors even getting into some turquoise colors overspreading by Saturday afternoon. And, well, your supercells, especially like right here, here, and here, really begin to take advantage of these parameters. We begin to see local maximums where you might have confluence bands that get ingested into your storms, which could, therefore, increase vorticity. And that is something we really need to watch. But going through Saturday afternoon and a Saturday evening, again, you have some very bona fide cells here taking advantage of your parameters right there. Getting on up there into your orange colors. That's very significant, I'd say. And really just becomes a lot more favorable after sunset, it appears. And you just see here, I mean, if we're talking about this way, you could see round 1 right here for central Louisiana. And we're looking at, well, round 2 for central Louisiana right there. So your risk actually might be expanded or might be extended a bit further west on future outlooks. We'll have to see. Then you have round 3, and this is the biggest round of all. It didn't really look like it from reflectivity on radar, but yes, for sure, strong tornado potential, intense. You could even see a violent tornado around this time. I mean, what's stopping it, right? Typically, in an environment like this, stuff can absolutely explode. And round 3 moves into Mississippi, begins to intensify further, and you will definitely be having an overnight strong tornado risk just across the entirety of the central Gulf Coast. Now let's move into your second area here. The risk is so big that we need another sector to cover it. Look at all of these prefrontal supercells. I have to note this first. 3, 4, 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon in this case, a lot of hooking structures here. Strong tornado risk right out ahead of this Boeing segment here. Imagining your lower level jet is a lot stronger across here, and your veering with heights also a lot stronger as well. As we head there, like Meridian, again, really need to watch out. Continuing through, I mean, even going into far southern Alabama now, you can see some supercells firing off. I mean, you're going to have a pool of 30 to 40 knot lower level winds across basically the entire risk area. So anywhere in here is definitely favorable for tornadoes, if not even a strong tornado or two. That is something to really note. And sometimes it's your cells far away from your line that kind of get active here. Evergreen here, Camden getting in on the action. Florence, Huntsville, you got this big old line here that'll be approaching into Birmingham as well as we go into tomorrow evening. And yeah, again, more cells along the line. You really have to watch, you know. Lots of severe weather in Birmingham there. Huntsville, Chattanooga, even getting onto some severe activity as well. And some of your cells down here really becoming prominent. A lot of hooking structures again. Cells also on your southern side of the line tend to do a lot better, and it just depends on where your outflow boundaries set up, but a widespread severe weather, if not tornado outbreak, seems likely. And if you have storm energy storming behind that line, yet another round could become prevalent. Big old Boeing line of damaging straight line winds that begins to move into Atlanta here, and into Columbus as well. Looking further, this segment moves through Tupelo, and again, it actually appears you could have a lot of cells developing overnight, so it would not shock me if a moderate risk actually gets issued, if there's a risk upgrade to a 15% hatched risk for tornadoes. But just a very loud night, if anything else, and my goodness, and this just continues through Alabama, Georgia, now we're getting into South Carolina. Honestly, could maybe see a risk upgrade over here if your winds are stronger. Greenville, South Carolina getting in on it. Macon, Georgia. Talk about Columbus there, Dothan. Yeah, just very widespread indeed. Even getting into Asheville here, East Tennessee could even see maybe a strong to severe storm as well. Now your significant tornado parameters go exactly like this. You could take a look here. Yeah, you definitely have elevated values and going through the night. I'm just saying right now you're probably going to have a big time nocturnal risk for tornadoes, if not strong. So, like I said, if you have a weather radio, crank it to high because you will be sleeping. Turn your emergency alerts on your phone as well. This could honestly be quite a long night for these areas. I didn't realize just the extent of this event. I mean, especially for your overnight hours. And tornado parameters continue, if not intensify, on your southern areas. You definitely will be seeing tornadoes on Sunday as well. Across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. You could even see far southeastern Tennessee as well. Far, far southeastern. We'll just have to see. Whew. That was a lot of information, wasn't it? Well, I really hope it wasn't too drawn out. I mean, I tried to cut down as much as possible, but you know that is very hard for me to do when I am extremely passionate in this sort of thing. So, that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe to my little corner of weather community. Share this with friends and family or on social media. Feel free to leave a comment in the section below, letting me know, well, how well I have done on today's video, or if there's any future suggestions you have for me. And that being said, have a wonderful afternoon and evening, and remember to stay weather aware.